heard you describe yourself as an introvert, yet, running a summit or a conference doesn't seem like introvert work. So how do you manage your introversion, or just speaking to the introverts who might be listening, how can you manage that in such a way that you can become have a dynamic and social life amidst a very real introversion?
Sure. Well, I spend a lot of time by myself, and I think most introverts probably know that being an introvert or being an extrovert really has very little to do with your ability to do public speaking or to be social. It's where you recharge. It's where you derive your energy from. And so for me, like, I go on book tour and got to do this big event every night. Might have some media stuff during the day, but for probably 100% of the other time, I'm going to be by myself. And I do the event and I go back, to my hotel room or wherever I'm staying, and I'm just by myself. First book tour, I didn't have any money. It was all DIY, and I would stay on people's couches and such. But kind of learned out of that experience, I really need some space to myself. So you take all the time you need for yourself, but then you can also, put yourself out in the world. So I don't think being an introvert can hold you back in some ways. I think it's an advantage.
I'm also curious about workload type issues, because since you started with your blog, you've written several books, and then you have a lot of podcasts. You just seem like a really busy guy. Is overwork or work-life balance ever an issue?
Yeah, I mean, I am somewhat compulsive. I think the work-life balance is interesting. I think that concept is kind of a corporate concept. It's like something corporations talk about to make their employees, feel like they should be happy. But obviously, you should do more in your life than just work. I guess but for me, it starts with this perspective of I love what I do. I really do. I feel very fortunate that there's this global community of people out there that care. Some of them at least, what I have to say, and I can do these events and people actually show up, and I don't take that for granted. If I could do, there's all these exercises about if time and money were no object, and what would you do? What's your perfect day look like, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, every time I go through them, my answers are pretty much aligned more or less with what I'm doing now. So it's not to say it's without struggle or challenge. I do feel overwhelmed sometimes, and that's nobody's fault but my own. I do feel I'm overcommitted sometimes. And sometimes I feel there can be a quality concern, quality assurance, because, there's so much stuff that's going on. So that is, a constant struggle, but I don't really have any desire to do less. I just have a desire to, do it better and make sure it's all cohesive, make sure it's all aligned with the overall life that I want to live.
That's an interesting way of framing the whole work-life balance thing as a corporate idea, because I've never specifically thought about it in those terms. But in Vagabonding, I talk about the traveler who'll go to the beach for the first several weeks of their trip and then get bored, and they'll forget, the idea of having tasks and goals is part of the enjoyment of life.
That's life. Yeah, exactly.